You know what works really well on a burger? Mayonnaise. Such a lame intro. Right, what do I say? You would think someone who works on radio, you would know what to say. I'm making burgers tonight for my girlfriend. And you know what goes really well with burgers? Well, onions, buns, lettuce, tomatoes, gherkins, that kind of stuff. Bacon, cheese.
And the beef patty, of course.
But mayonnaise. Now, so this kind of mayonnaise, like this stuff works really well. Hellmann's, normal store-bought. It's good stuff. It tastes really good. But the problem with store-bought mayonnaise, it needs to have a shelf life, right? It's mass-produced. So there's all sorts of things like preservatives and sugars and glucose syrups and cornstarches and thickeners. And let me actually, it's gonna be super embarrassing if there's like 3 ingredients in here. Should I turn the light on? Does that? I wonder if that works. I don't know, it's like my first one. Ingredients: water, rapeseed oil, spirit vinegar, modified cornstarch, sugar, salt, pasteurized free-range egg yolk, cream powder, which is milk, citrus fiber thickener, didn't I call it? Mustard, flour, lemon juice concentrate, antioxidant, calcium, blah, 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 blah. Natural flavoring and paprika extract. What's wrong with just normal paprika? And why are you having to put flavoring in mayonnaise? Surely mayonnaise should taste like mayonnaise from the fact that you made mayonnaise. I'm saying mayonnaise too many times. Mayonnaise! Okay, I'm gonna show you how to make real homemade mayonnaise. Yeah, it's like mayonnaise, but like on like another level. Mayonnaise, it's like a mayonnaise with a bayonet that stabs you. Yeah, sorry, it was a lame joke. At home, on my own, right now. Mayonnaise. I'm gonna show you how to make mayonnaise using 4.5 ingredients, and it takes like 2 minutes. This recipe I've actually stolen from a bunch of YouTube chefs. Kenji mainly stolen this, ripped this off straight from him. It's basically Kenji's recipe that I'm making. So, but what you're gonna need for this, besides ingredients, is this is called an immersion blender. It's called immersion because you immerse it obviously in a jar, and that's how you blend it. These are Kenji's words, not my own, but you need a sort of really tightness around the head, the blade of this, because what that does is that forces the oil and the egg to emulsify. Now, emulsification,
Science with Simon.
that is essentially when you take 2 liquids, so egg yolk or egg and oil, and you smash them together so much that they combine and become one. So they don't split, they don't become lumpy, that kind of thing. And when you put oil and egg yolk together, that's basically mayonnaise. Really, I chuck like salt and lemon juice and mustard in there to give it a little bit of flavor, and some fresh garlic as well. So essentially we're actually making aioli. I should actually call this video how to make aioli, not how to make mayonnaise. Aioli, by the way, is garlic flavored mayonnaise. So there we go. It's literally, garlic is like the best invention. Should we crack on? What you need to do is get yourself fresh eggs. These are free-range British eggs. We just bought them from Sainsbury's. They are medium. They're quite fresh, best before the 2nd of September, so they're very fresh eggs. So I'm using normal store-bought lemon juice. This is not freshly squeezed lemon juice. The reason why is I'm out of lemons. I've got fresh limes in the fridge, but I find lime to be slightly more acidic in flavor than a ripe lemon. This is sort of more sweeter, I would say. I mean, it's good. It's not the real... it's not a real fresh lemon, but this will work. Again, the recipe calls for maybe like a Dijon mustard, French Dijon mustard, or maybe like an English mustard if you want a little bit of extra heat. You could add that, but I'm going with whole grain mustard because it's all I've got in my fridge. And that's what this whole thing is about. This is not about you going out to buy 20 million ingredients that you don't necessarily need or use on a regular basis. So it's kind of like, you know, what have you got in the fridge that is similar for? So for example, I don't have the fresh lemons, but I got lemon juice. I don't have Dijon mustard, but I've got whole grain mustard, and that'll work, to be fair. I don't know how this is framing, because when I was standing behind it earlier, I think my head might be chopped off in this. Maybe I should bring you closer. Yeah, that looks good. I think that might work. My girlfriend's gonna freak because there's dirty dishes in the sink, but hey. Most recipes, when they are making mayonnaise, they will use just, they'll take an egg and they'll separate the white from the yolk. You don't necessarily need to do that. The reason why you need the yolk specifically is the yolk is what creates the thickness. It's the proteins in the yolk. Don't quote me on the proteins thing. Now I sound like a food scientist when I don't really know what I'm talking about.
Science!
But as far as I know, I could be wrong, but I think it's the proteins inside the actual egg yolk that emulsify with the oil that gives it the thickness that you're looking for. Don't ever crack your eggs on the sides of things or take spoons or knives and smash it like that, because when you're hitting it with the corner of something, the shells actually invert and go inside, and that's how you can get cracked little shells inside whatever you're doing. So you always crack it on a flat surface. I'm gonna try to do a chefy thing where they smash it in one go and using one hand do the thing. Of course, now I'm on camera, I'm not gonna be able to do it. Oh, smashed it. Oh! Look at that, empty, and no eggshell. When I'm editing this video, I'm probably gonna put that on repeat and show you a few times. Whole egg. Don't worry about having the whites in there, it's totally fine. Dijon mustard, about that much, about 3/4 of a teaspoon. You can put a full teaspoon in there. In terms of how much lemon juice to put, about a tablespoon is probably all right. It's probably about that much. It depends on how tangy, I guess, you want it. I'm gonna put it's a pretty big clove of garlic, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's quite massive, right? So I've just taken the side of my knife and crushed the garlic, and that just goes straight in, just like that. So I don't have a measuring cup or a measuring, well, I've got a measuring jar, but it's massive. It's for like doing stocks and liters and that kind of thing. This thing, it's huge. It's really big. So for me, it doesn't give a necessary like a visual representation, because you know when they say like, oh, 3/4 of a cup, like I pretty much have an idea in my head how many mils that works out to be, but I like to have a physical representation of how much this is. This is just a normal coffee cup. A cup in general is about, I think it's 250 mils. This will probably take about 300, 330, like a beer can, essentially. I'm using normal neutral oil. So what does a neutral oil mean? You hear these fancy chefs talking about, oh, I use a neutral oil or a oil with a high flash point or fucking smoking point and all that shit. Essentially, this is olive oil. This is not a neutral oil. This has got a lot of flavor to it. The reason why you're not using extra virgin olive oil is because it adds quite a lot of bitterness. Olive oil, great for dressing, great for, you know, if you're cooking steaks. Well, not really steaks. Actually, that's a bad idea, because this has a really low smoke point. It smokes quite easily on high heat. And when you're cooking a steak, you need high heat. I'm rambling. I should be talking about mayonnaise. But olive oil has quite a strong, pungent, bitter flavor to it. Whereas just normal canola / sunflower oil, or like a rapeseed oil, or maybe even an avocado oil, they don't have big flavors to it. They're quite neutral in taste and in flavor. But what I like to do is do neutral oil and then a little bit of olive oil in there, even though I've just told you not to put it in. And then season, right? Oh shit, I nearly seasoned the oil. You can season after, once you've blended everything together, but I'm just gonna season now because what is. There's the egg, whole egg in there, the mustard, the lemon juice, and salt and garlic. I'm just gonna blend it up very quickly. So this is an immersion blender. Yeah, looks good. Now in Kenji's video, he started off with basically all of the oil in there, and then he just started emulsifying. You can, if you're using a blender like this, it's quite difficult to mess it up. But the reason why I'm gonna pour it in slowly 2 reasons. You're supposed to, right? You're supposed to give it like a drip feed, slowly add the oil in. If you add too much at once, it can't emulsify properly and it splits, and then you've just got basically egg yolk and then oil on top, or the other way around, I can't remember. And it's quite difficult to bring it back. You pretty much have to start from the beginning. So I like to just be foolproof and start really, really slowly with a nice easy drip. The second reason why I don't add all of it at once like Kenji did is I'm not 100% confident on my measurements. A lot of recipes call for 1 cup of oil per egg yolk. And I watch them make it and it turns really nice, thick and creamy, like mayo-like. But every time I've tried that, it just lands up being way too much oil inside. And it comes like quite a runny texture, almost like what it is now. And I try to get it back by putting another egg yolk in, and I fucked it up. So I like to have full control. So I'm watching as the oil is emulsifying with the egg. I can see it thickening and becoming creamier, and then I get it to the texture that I like. And I quite often find that there's a little bit of oil left over, so I'm not using all of this. Keep that going. Okay, it's starting to thicken slightly. Making sure that I'm mixing all of it together, all of that oil and the egg yolk. You can quite literally see it changing texture. So it's getting a lot more thicker and creamier. Okay, let's go a little bit more. I'd say we're almost there. Guys, honestly, that's how easy it is to make mayonnaise. It's egg yolk, lemon juice, garlic, salt, and oil dripped in with a hand blender. Everyone's got one of these at home. If you don't, go to your mom's house. She's got one of these at home. Should we test it? So I'm going to show you texture-wise. It's quite runny. That's what I've gone for. Very fluffy, very light from all the air that I've been pushing in there with the blender. See how it coats the back of the spoon quite nicely. It is still quite thick. If you put this in the fridge for a while, it will set as well. It gets a lot thicker like store-bought mayo, but I do like it at this kind of texture. You can go further, and that's how much oil is left over. So that measurement of me telling you 3/4 of a cup of oil might be off, might be less than that, probably half maybe, I don't know. It's so good. Fuck! Why would you ever, seriously, if that's how easy it is to make mayo, why would you ever spend unnecessary money on buying store-bought mayonnaise? It's so easy. There are more complicated ways of making mayonnaise with the whisk and separating the egg yolks and all that kind of stuff. But this is it. This is like a 10 out of 10. You made mayonnaise. Like, from like, what, 4.5 ingredients? Fuck. It doesn't need salt. I think it's seasoned quite well. There's so much tang coming through from the lemon, but not like overpowering. Like it punches you just enough. Just on like the tips on the sides of your mouth, like the tannins almost, what they call in like wine. The garlic, it's just superb. And the difference between using this fresh garlic and the cheap stuff, which I sometimes buy and use as well, the difference between this and this gives you a 10 out of 10 mayonnaise. This will probably give you like a 5 out of 10 mayonnaise. It's actually starting to thicken now and set a little bit. Fuck. Potato salad, burgers, salad dressings. I'm gonna be honest, like this is my first sort of cooking YouTube video type of thing-esque. As you can see, angles are all over the place. The sound is pretty rubbish. But I'm just gonna have fun with these things, and I'm gonna try and cook things in front of you that I like to cook, that I like to make. Simple things, not too like outlandish and crazy fancy dishes. Just like simple stuff that you can make at home, and things that aren't necessarily like expensive to make either. And as much as the things that we can make from home, like for example, a mayonnaise or a pizza dough and that kind of stuff, like we will make it together. There will be lots of mistakes. I will fuck up quite a bit. And hopefully I can show you those mistakes, because that's the only way we can learn. I've been cooking at home since I was probably about 14. And I've made a lot of mistakes. I think the first proper food I ever made was spaghetti bolognese, and I chucked in like all sorts of random spices in there, like star anise, just things that didn't belong there. But it was because I was testing and experimenting, and you know, hopefully we can do those sorts of things together on this channel, and that's what I hope this to be. But if you've just clicked on this for the clickbait because you YouTubed and you searched how to make garlic mayo at home, then hi. Please like, subscribe, get the bell on, and other internet things that they say to keep your attention. It would be nice if you came along with me on this journey. If you wanted to comment about some of the mistakes that I've made, that's cool. You can do it in the comment section below. I'll probably delete them because I have a very, very fragile ego. If you see no comments on this video, that means a lot of people were shitting on me. The only comments that you'll read are the positive ones. But yeah, there's other methods. This is just mine that I've stolen from another YouTube chef. And it's really good. It's really, really easy. Try this. Go and make this now. Honestly, like go in your cupboard, grab your eggs, grab some fresh lemons, some fresh garlic, some salt, and just any oil that you've got lying around except olive oil, because that's really bitter, and blend it together. Just fucking smash it together in a blender and you've got mayonnaise. I'll see you the next time I get inspiration to make a video like this.